channel. This is Kitten7770, back with another episode of my Escape from Mars scenario series. An episode ago, or maybe it was 2 episodes ago, I turned on the engines and the O2 generators, while also turning off the oxygen tanks since I wanted them to focus on hydrogen. The main reason was there are 3 oxygen tanks on the ground here that are about 50% full, and I could easily get the oxygen out of them. So I pulled up closer. Now, if I believe this was a light armor block before that got shot out and exposed the battery, since I know that's a known weakness, I'm going to replace it with a heavy armor block. Still going to be a heavy armor half block. However, it will be stronger than a light armor block. Now, I have some theories as to why the battery to the right of it didn't get shot out, and that's simply because the hitbox for the assault cannon is directly over that armor block. So in order for bullets to hit it, it has to go through the assault cannon, which has much heavier armor than the light block. Oh, there is a dent in my wall right here. I might have noted that last episode. I didn't think it was that severe though, of a dent. So, as of right now, I'm going to build up a little... This is very temporary. It's just going to be here so I could offload the oxygen from those tanks into Watermelon. It's going to be a few conveyors, a connector, and I'll set up a makeshift landing pad. Because there's no way I'm going to be able to hold a tank up without it being rested on something with Sprout. If it was Turkey, that's another story. However, Turkey, if you remember, got shot up pretty bad and it lost its pilot seat, which means it lost all of my groups. So to save time and not having to reset Turkey, I'm gonna try to do everything with Sprout. Almost forgot to open the top hatch. Now, Watermelon's vine to Endeavor shouldn't get in the way. It didn't get in the way last time. So, I decided to call it a vine since it's green, and watermelons grow on vines. That just the vines aren't typically on the inside of the watermelon. I still have no plans for what I'm going to do with those conveyor lines that I have just sitting out right there. Originally I was going to put a conveyor line across the entire ceiling, but since I need that space to fly through, yeah, I don't see that. Oh, went up a little too high, too fast. Yeah, I don't see how the conveyors would work. So if I want to ever get this thing airborne, I'm going to need to get thrusters up top. Oh, I keep forgetting that's the neutralized airbase over there. Random explosion? Might have been my unknown signal, might have been a drone falling out of the sky. I don't know. Like the batteries, I just have to drill out a little underneath because it's slightly in the voxel. Now, I had put that conveyor and connector on when I had a different plan. I was just gonna hang it off. Then I did a math check on the blocks from the connector to the top of the door, and it was 2. So that's 1 block too tall. Not gonna work. I also figured out what I'm gonna do for that little section on the front. That's, you know, it's got that little gap between the wall and the front of the rover. I could stick a couple of turrets there, and I could pipe them up through underneath. At least that's what I'm thinking about. Now the sun is going down, so I'm running out of time here. Did one of Watermelon's wheels just pop in and out of existence? It would have been on the far right of the screen. Oh well. No, no, no! Well, that's less ideal. That's more ideal because it's flatter, and it got worse. I should have extended the armor further over to that side. Shows the weight of an unloaded connector right here. Perfectly flat, that's fine. That's an excellent angle to grab it at. Just gotta set up a makeshift landing platform since I forgot to do that earlier. Only it needs to be 3x3, and that will give plenty of leeway. Just have to make sure not to cook the oxygen tank with Sprout's thrusters. Though, since I have got a large cargo container separating it, and that's about the width of a large block, should have no problems. If it doesn't toast a battery, it ain't gonna toast a oxygen tank. I did leave that drone in there. Turn it into a makeshift missile. But then again, it has valuable parts on it. Don't know what I'm gonna do. Might just sit there. I really don't need all the plate that's around here. And I definitely don't need all the glass. Thinking I might not break down the entire air base as well. Just take the loot out of the large containers and whatever's on the top floor. Leave the rest. Oh, I'll grab the solar panels if there's anything left of them after the drone slammed into the ceiling and shot at me. I haven't checked the ceiling. I haven't been back to the airbase since I had Watermelon save me. I'm losing daylight fast. By the time I've got this tank drained, I'm probably going to be in darkness. Sprout has lights all over it. I shouldn't have an issue if the landing pad has no lights. Now, I could just turn off Sprout's dampeners and have it sit there. But since I'm going to be grinding that tank afterwards, I might as well just move it now. Oof. Phantom Forces almost sent me to the left into the turret. Could park on the solar panel. Here you can see the underside of the armors. Did I note the underside of the armor's mostly not welded? Conveyor lines fairly exposed. Actually, the conveyor line's very exposed. I should probably fix that at some point. Just gotta drain that oxygen tank. Put all these on stockpile. I missed one. Why is it not draining? Oh, that's right, I turned those two tanks off. I gotta turn them back on. And I'm not sure what the green tanks are. They're not listed. Oh, Endeavor! Those were Endeavor's tanks! Well, I just drained them. Let me fill those up and then name them with an E at the front. Because I was just dumb. I completely forgot. Well, I forgot that Endeavor has now a conveyor connection. Which means there's a chance that Endeavor will fill with parts when I go to load up Watermelon. Unless... No, because if I make them hidden, then they won't unload. No, if I make them hidden, they won't. Izzy's won't try to dump parts into them. I think that's how that works. Nope, don't need this tank anymore. I'll take the large and small steel tubes out of it. And it's darkness already. Well, not totally darkness. There's still a little light in the sky. Well, so there was light in the sky. I drilled out beneath these two oxygen tanks and laid down some plate, and by the time that was over, the sun was fully down. It's not the safest just riding these down. Since there's no extra weight on the sides, I'm not worried about them toppling over. Though I kind of need them toppled over, to be honest. Whee! It's like one of those falling rides at the amusement parks. Now then, you may have heard of cow tipping, yak tipping, tractor tipping. Well, this is the Space Engineer's version of it. Tank tipping. But it's the easiest method to get them on their side. Oop, not quite. Once you get them past the... I guess it would be the 35-degree angle, they'll fall on their own. Because the tank is a rectangle, unlike a square, if you A square would require you to get it halfway, at least halfway or more over. The tanks really only just need a 35% angle, since the angle is shallower going up through the tank. So instead of needing a 90-degree angle, a 45-degree angle, oh actually it would be a 45-degree angle would be the apex, but you really only need to get more weight on the other side, so at a 35-degree angle, it will fall over. On its own. I'm recording! Roommates. Tapped on my door for my laundry. I'm not restarting this recording, so that's just gonna remain in. I forgot to turn my recording sign on. I have a little sign I can flip a switch on. It shows that I'm on air or recording a session. I forgot to turn it on, so they thought it was okay to knock on my door. That's my fault. Oof, this tank is fighting me. Possibly because I have it at a slightly... Oh, the music just got louder. I thought I heard another explosion. I forgot I adjusted the sound here because this is one of the quieter soundtracks in Space Engineers. Same story, it's just going to drain this tank. I realized by looking at Watermelon, I've got 7 turrets on top, only 1 on either side, so there's an imbalance in where the turrets are at. Though since most of my threats are aerial, turrets are right where they need to be. My hand fell asleep. Great. Once again, I'll land Sprout on the ground, and then I'll drain this tank. I'll also be checking how much space I have left in the tank once it's drained. I don't want to completely fill all the tanks, since I want to have some leeway to evacuate my cabin when need be. I got both these tanks on stockpile, don't have to worry about them draining. Fill these ones up. As long as tank 3 remains below 50%, I could drain the other tank into the system. That one's full. Ooh. Well, guess I'll have another spare part roaming, locked down to the inside of Watermelon. I don't need this anymore since I'm not going to be draining the other tank. Still haven't fixed that part of the armor. Don't know if I will. I have to remember to fix it. And I'm preoccupied with other things. I mostly just want to get this done. I'm probably not going to loot anything more off this flight research base, since I could take the remaining airtight hangar doors. That I might do. thing is I want to get the airbase looted. And I know the flight research facility is already mostly looted, except for the yield modules that are on the inside. Do I really need them though? At the moment, no. Though it is quite dark, and driving in the dark is not the most optimal thing to do. And I did come up with a plan for getting Sprout on this side and Harpy where Sprout is parked currently. And that would be moving all the spare parts into where Harpy is currently docked. And then throwing a ugly shelter over the parts so they don't, just to protect them a little bit. Just dropping it will be okay. Please don't explode. Please don't explode. Please don't explode. Okay, it's locked. And didn't explode. Or take damage. Or not enough significant damage for it to be viewed. You know what? I think I'm gonna reorganize the parts and then go loop to the airbase. Since it's dark anyways and it's hard to drive at night. Though it's pretty much so just flat terrain between me and the flight research facility. Or between the flight research facility and the airbase. What's with all the mysterious explosions? I didn't see an unknown signal anywhere. That's like 3 this episode. Recharge or auto? Probably recharge. Well, see you in the next half. Gotta record more footage. Alright, I'm gonna get these spare parts around Watermelon reorganized and put them in a tighter group. I don't want Harpy to be out in the open anymore. I prefer Harpy to be undercover. That does mean that the batteries will then not be undercover. I could possibly figure out a way to put them in cover.
Convoy dispatched. Delivery X5 ETA 35.
I don't think it'll be pretty cover though. The main reason why I have the batteries, especially the large grid batteries, are setting up ambush points for convoys. That's the main reason I'm toting them around. Is this connected? I forgot. No, it's not. You can tell by looking at the floor. It's not on a conveyor line. It's on armor. I think I ran into that problem before. Can't remember. Mabel's gonna bother me about power concerns in a moment. Oh well. Once I get into the Sprout, that problem will go away. see, I've got a pack of 6 batteries to move, an oxygen tank, and 3 large batteries to move. And possibly 1 small battery that's half charged. Not a whole lot to move around. It will, however, be much easier if Harpy was not directly over where I need to drop stuff off at. I hope I didn't just toast the wall doing that. So Harpy's going to take up... Harpy's going on Sprout's connector. Sprout's move everything around. And then I'll make a spot for Sprout. That's the plan. And I think I have just enough time to do it. Let me not accidentally fire the railgun. That would be bad. Ooh. No, Harpy shouldn't be in the way of those batteries. It's almost like a watermelon combined with a pumpkin in the front. I just had to check to make sure there's no parts in that connector. And the closet is prepped. Let me remember to open this door. I'm probably gonna need it.
Tower reports convoy arrived.
Oof, my stomach's rumbling. I did get up first thing in the morning to finish my episode. I had a different layout for my part 2 for this video. However, when I woke up, I realized it didn't flow at all. So I'm redoing it. That's how it goes sometimes. You think you got something good, then you look at it with fresh eyes and you realize, what was I doing? Why did I think this was good? I was off topic royally, but I worked on a little bit of the medical room. You're probably going to see it in a moment. It's shaped a little differently. Added a door, changed up a hallway. Actually added 2 doors and changed up a hallway. But it didn't flow with the content of this, the essence of this video. Suppose I could have left these 2 batteries back here. Though I really wanted to clean up Watermelon's interior just a bit. I also need to figure out a way to make the front section airtight and still have access to the outs, to the interior of Watermelon, the hangar space. I also don't need to clang out on the with these batteries, so I'm going to get a little higher up. That's good enough. Time to drop them. Good. No explosion. That's the last thing I need to do is blow another hole in my floor. Oh, the armor smashed right there. Did I make note of that before? I don't forget. I keep forgetting. I don't forget. I obviously do forget. I was trying to say I don't remember and I said I don't forget. Fact, once I get this other, now I remember, I'm removing these batteries so I can put more hydrogen tanks in here. Whoa! Wait, did the battery do that? Or was that dent already in the floor? Wait, how would a dent be there? The drone must have had a really good shot through the openings in the ceiling, or battery, the bullets managed to phase through my solar panels. Because my solar panels were shot up. And there is that little gap in between the solar panels in the middle. I didn't think anything could fit through it though. I may need to find a way to armor beneath the solar panels. Though I really like the look of how the solar panels come through. I'm probably not going to get past the gyroscope easily. I might have fit past the gyroscope. If I'm fitting past the vine, I would have fit past the gyroscope. Just want to make sure I line up out this hole this time instead of scraping my thruster. Which I had to repair, by the way. I scraped off some of its armor, but it was not below functional. Now, this does mean that my living space is also slowed down by having junk in the closet. Technically it's not junk until it's dead batteries. Oh, it's 5 batteries. I thought I had 6 in that line. 2 down, 3 to go. 4 to go. However, the right side of Watermelon, I'm doing the right side off of it if it was facing forward, is clear of junk on that one side. The medical room really needs to come first, since I can't put another tank on this side until I move my medical bay to the new location. Three batteries and an oxygen tank. Guess we'll start with the middle one. Okay, that one didn't dent the floor, so yeah, that dent must have already been in the floor. Have to be really careful not to damage the evidence. Oh, there's also the two back corners that need to be filled with armor. Or glass, or whatever I'm going to do with it. So, the four corners on the top on Watermelon are the things that are my weak spots. I haven't figured out how I want to shape the armor in the corners. It's the main issue. Then there's the corridors underneath, and underneath on the front. I'm thinking about maybe putting 2 small reactors on Watermelon. I just don't know where I would put them. I don't want them on the flight deck. I could possibly fit them in somewhere on the engineering deck. You don't know. There's uranium at the airbase. There's also another large reactor at the airbase, though I've already claimed the parts from one large reactor from the ground base. So I'm good on reactor components. Trying to think if there's any place I could stick them. I am getting off topic though. It's just, it's coming to a point where solar power alone is not enough to keep the batteries charged on Watermelon. Periodically, I have to turn on the hydrogen engines. Whoop, too high. forgetting the low ceiling on that one side. Oh no, not a sandstorm. I don't think it will affect me too much since I'm flying around mostly on the inside, in the interior of Watermelon. Whoa, what was that? Clang? Clang, did you just bounce Watermelon? In case it does that again, I should probably drop it sooner rather than later. That looks straight. Those were all at like 75% power. Big difference between the batteries I have. Which I found one of Watermelon's batteries is actually still damaged. And I don't know which one it is. I fixed the one in the cab. I haven't found the other one though. I might not find it since I buried some in the armor. Alright. Do I want the landing pad here? Or a block back? Probably a block back. Or a couple back. That way the thrusters aren't directly next to the evidence. Probably a T and then a junction. Or do I want a junction and then a conveyor line? I'll go with a T. Finding its orientation is gonna be fun.
Tower reports convoy arrived.
Oh, that was easier than expected. Usually I have trouble with those. Now this will also give me another cargo access point. Watermelon really doesn't have enough of them. I should have a cargo bay on the other side of this cabin area as well. That will mean I have to evacuate the space. I'll think about it. Probably want it black. Makes sense to have seeds around the place. Do I want the connector red or black? Probably black. As the storm intensifies outside. I don't have room for both the battery and the oxygen tank. You know what? This battery is not 3 lights. Think about grinding it down just for the parts. I'll lose the power cells, but I'll gain some computers, which I do need. Just checking to see if there's any other place I want to put it. There's really not. Yeah, I'm gonna get rid of this one. I think I'll just move it, the oxygen tank, back onto this one, since I also don't want it directly underneath the Sprout's thrusters. And that what does actually clean up the area a bit, because I managed to eliminate one. Is that a sunrise or a sunset? Going by the compass, I think that's a sunrise. Hard to tell through all the sand. Because the sandstorm makes it look like night. I think I need to get it right in the middle, but I also need to unlock it from the ground. There, I can move it. Something else I remembered. Sprout has an oxygen tank. I didn't find that out until I connected it up and immediately drained Sprout's oxygen tank. Whoops. Had to fill that back up. Really the only one of my builds that does not have an oxygen, well, it's not even my build actually. Turkey does not have an oxygen tank, and Harpy does not have an oxygen tank. It's at a bad angle. I'll fix it later. That's gonna be about it for this episode. Just need to turn around and land Sprout. Whoa! Too much spin. This is one vehicle I'm confident I cannot do a barrel roll in. In fact, I don't think I've ever made a vehicle that could successfully do a barrel roll and survive. Now I could close up the back since my small grids are all in the cargo space. Well, that's it for this episode. I'll see you next time, everyone. Take care and bye!